Hey there, welcome. My name is Nigel Marsh. I am the author, amongst other things, of a book called Fat, 40 and Fired, when I bizarrely was fat, 40 and fired. And then I fell into a bit of a personal 7-up project, a literary 7-up project where I updated my life every 10 years. So I wrote Fit, 50 and Fired Up. And 3 days ago, I published the third in the trilogy, Smart, Stupid and 60. Bizarrely well timed for Father's Day. But I'm here, I've never done this before, so I'm looking forward to your comments. I'm here to talk about what I am reading. I am a ferocious reader. Hello, Jane Tara. Great to have you on What You Are Reading. Nice to see you, Jane. I do a podcast called Five of My Life. And as part of that, I ask my guests to bring in and talk about a favourite book of theirs, a book that's really affected them. And I do my research properly. So I read all the books that they choose. So I've read 90 books I wouldn't normally have read, and I've brought 4 in to talk about today, which is the 4 I am currently reading, because I have to be well researched for my guests. Now hold on one second. I'm just going to say hello to Caroline and hello to Jill. So starting with the book that I am currently reading, it's by a lady called Nancy Kline, The Promise That Changes Everything. And this lady's first book, Time to Think, changed my life. And it's about proper listening. Not this one, not interrupting people. And it absolutely game-changing how you can be in a marriage or be at work and never listen properly and not realise you are listening properly. Natalia Clark, she is reading Where the Crawdads Sing Before I Watch the Movie. Good on you. I hope you enjoy doing it in that order. I thoroughly recommend Nancy Kline's work. It is life-changing because it helps you actually understand how you are affecting other people when you constantly interrupt or you immediately start talking after they've finished talking. And if you ask somebody a question, you don't talk when they finish answering, in 100% of cases, they will start talking again. And that is when you learn the really, really good stuff. And you can be, as I said, in a marriage or a job and never get to the good stuff. So I recommend that one. Jasmine is reading The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. I hear that's great. Second book, I'm reading this because I'm interviewing an Oscar-winning producer, the guy who produced The King's Speech and Power of the Dog, Rabbit Proof Fence, Lion. And he, Emil Sherman, he chose this wonderful book by Nassim Nicholas Taleb, absolutely fantastic, about how we overestimate how we control things, and we credit our success for our brilliance and our skill, when really, actually, it's luck in lots and lots of cases. This guy's more famous for the Black Swan book, but just a wonderful book. Jane is reading Daughter-in-Law by Joanna Trollope, both good, and J.C. Gray, both good reads. It's a good recommendation from Jane. And Natalie, your book sounds, my book sounds great. Well, it is, because I wrote it. Thank you, Natalie. That's very, very kind of you to say. And she's reading The Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams and loving it so far. And Janine is reading A Dolphin Called Jock. What a great title for a book, by Melody Horrell. Fascinating story, she says. Thank you for all these comments, guys. And the last book that I'm reading as research for my podcast, The Five of My Life, it's actually wonderful when people choose books by authors that I adore. Louise is reading Rising Dust by Fleur MacDonald. Somerset Maugham is my favourite writer. And a lovely photographer called Stu Spence is coming on to Five of My Life in a few weeks' time, and he's chosen these short stories. I cannot recommend Somerset Maugham highly enough. Joey is reading All Our Shimmering Skies. Louise is reading Rising Dust. God, what are these wonderful, lovely people that better reading these books. And Jell, Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. Gosh, what an amazing title. Have I got, Joey, All Our Shimmering Skies. And then the last one, I'm reading 4 books at the same time. And this is because I'm in a book club. I'm in an all-male book club, and so this isn't research for my podcast, The Five My Life. It's just because I'm in a book club and they've chosen this book, and I am 538 pages into it and loving it. So he's the guy that did Gentleman in Moscow, which I also love. This is very different, but it's fantastic. Who have we got here? Melissa. Hello, Melissa. She's just bought The Carnival is Over. Can't wait to read it. Christine says she's from Ballarat. I'm from Yeovil. Nice to meet you, Christine. And Jasmine, what authors' books inspire your writing? Oh, what a nice question. I mean, I'm assuming she's meaning my writing. I just write. I talk how I write, and I write how I talk. I wrote my first book as sort of a cry for help, midlife crisis. I just wrote it. I didn't think anyone would read it or publish it, and they did. And then nice people like Penguin keep on publishing me, so I keep on writing. But I'm not. There's lots of writers I think are amazing, but I don't try to emulate anyone else. I just sort of am me on the page. I hope that's answered your question a little bit, Jasmine. Thank you for it. Jel says The Lincoln Highway was a very interesting book. Yeah, I agree, Jel. Rose, did you plan ahead to write? No, I didn't. Did you plan ahead to write 3 books each 10 years apart? Absolutely not. No, I didn't. But now I do. So I will write one when I'm 70, and I will write one when I'm 80, if I'm lucky enough to be alive then, and I will write one when I'm 90. I definitely am going to do one every 10 years, even if people don't want me to. Yvonne, hello, reading The Nurse's War by Victoria Pullman. Nicole Foster, hi Nigel, welcome to BR. Thank you. Currently, I'm in a reading slump, but always love hearing what everyone else has on the go. Well, you're at the right show, because there's some lovely recommendations from all these people. And I've actually got some books that my dear friends at Better Reading have asked me to give a shout out. One of them is written by my mate, Richard McHugh. Bloody fabulous. He's got a lovely way with the pen. So I thoroughly recommend this one. I'm not even sure if it's out yet, but it's out in the next couple of days. But get yourself around that. The Cutting. Another one, Stay Awake by Megan Goldin, for fans of the movie Memento and Before You Know My Name. Looks fantastic. Check it out. And the last one, God, I love this cover. Brilliant. 5 Bush Weddings by Claire Fetcher. So I've forgotten the lady's name Nicole, who's in a reading slump. There are 3 great recommendations from Better Reading for you to read. And obviously, don't forget that one, because you're going to love it. Right. Jane Tara, I've just finished reading Happy as Larry and also 5 Bush Weddings. Julietta, hi Nigel and Better Readingers, reading Fight Night by Miriam. So there's so many of you writing in that the things are scrolling. Natalie Clark, I'm reading Stay Awake by Megan Gold 2, ! Christine Ware, reading Woman on Fire, thinking it has similarities to Gold Finch. Jasmine Arid, I'm looking forward to reading Richard Hughes' new book. Stay Awake looks good too. Melissa, hello Nigel, I'm reading The End of Cuthbert Close by Cassie Harmer, enjoying it. And that with an emoji of a hamster. I don't know what that means, because I am 60 and I'm smart and I'm stupid. So I'm not quite sure what the hamster means, but it looks very nice. Win Firth, The Coast by Eleanor Limprecht, about the leper colony at Little Bay at Prince Henry Hospital. Brilliant historical. That sounds quite interesting. Jasmine has asked, what was the most challenging part about writing your book, Nigel? Gosh, probably not drowning in a sea of self-loathing and self-doubt. If you are writing about yourself, how arrogant do you have to be to write 4 autobiographies about yourself? So, it's, I like telling a story, and I have, thoughts, and my wife says I'm too introspective. So there's no problem with me getting thoughts and stories on page. The problem is, why would anyone care? So every now and then you need someone, people send nice emails, which really helps, saying, I liked your book. But I find it, doing this, why would anyone want to be listening to me presenting, their books? So that's a confidence thing. So sometimes I think I'm Martin Amis, and other times I think I'm an earthworm. Natalia, What do you do to get out of a reading slump? I've just got out of mine. So I tell you what you can do is the 5 of my life is you listen to what other people choose as their favourite books. So interviewing people and hearing them choose books that have changed their life has exploded my reading list. So rather than being in a narrowing circle, I'm in a broader circle because I'm reading stuff that I wouldn't normally read. Because just like I'm saying, where's the book? Like I wouldn't have read that in a million years unless the Oscar-winning producer had chosen it. It's fantastic. So if you are in a slump, my personal recommendation is talk to somebody who you like and you admire, and a bit like the Dice Man book. And before you do this, decide that whatever book they choose, you say, what are you reading? What do you recommend? You have to read it. So if they mention something, you think, oh, bloody hell, I don't want to read that. Tough. You have to read it. Yeah. And then that gets you out the slump. And guess what? You might actually really enjoy reading a book that's outside of a genre or an author that you normally read. Oh, so I'm missing all these comments. Jasmine, how did you think of the titles for your books? Well, I tell you, there's a story there, Jasmine, because I just make them up, put them out the backside. But I'm not as clever as, Fat 45 is, even though I say it myself, is a brilliant title, and Smart, Stupid and 60 is quite a good title. But my second book was called Observations of a Very Short Man. And that's the worst title in publishing history. And I chose it. And I thought it was lovely because it was about a story of my young son when he was asked at his kindy they all the class were asked to make Father's Day cards for their dads, and they had got given a laminated bit of paper with the headline "My daddy is ... and then they fill it in and then give it to their dads at the end of the day. And everyone writes "My daddy is my hero" or "my best friend" or "full of hugs and cuddles" or whatever. And Harry, my younger son, the little bastard, wrote "My daddy is a very short man." That's all he could think of. I'm a very short man. Anyway, and so I thought it was a hilarious story, and I therefore made it the title of my book, and it was the worst title ever. So they asked me to retitle it, and I came up with Overworked and Underlaid. I don't know if that's a bit rude for this audience, so we needn't talk about that. But I just think of them, and I like writing titles without getting too embarrassing that are true. So I was Fat, 40 and Fired, and I am Smart, Stupid and 60. I hope that goes some way to answering the title. Hold on 1 second. Do you have an all-time favourite book? I'm not allowed. That's from Jane. I'm not allowed to say because the producers of 5 of My Life, one day they'll interview me and I will say. But I'll tell you, one of my all-time favourite books is Somerset Maugham's Of Human Bondage. Oh my word! And the other one is A Fine Balance by Rohinton Mystery. If any of you gorgeous people watching haven't read either of those, and you go out and buy it and you read it and you don't like it, write to Better Reading and I will refund the price because they are sensational. Rose, where can we find your podcast? Wherever, it's clever, that internet thing. So Spotify, everywhere. If you just type in the 5 of My Life, then that's what the logo looks like. And on the back of that actually is the reading list of people that, Albanese and Rudd and James Valentine and all the guests. There's 90 guests. They choose their favourite books. So go on the Instagram page of the 5 of My Life and you'll find 90 book recommendations. Who are your favourite podcast guests you've had so far? They're all my favourites. I love them all. But the current episode that was released yesterday is for Father's Day, and it's people talking about the role that their dads had and have in their life. And I've been getting messages all day today about people saying, tell your parents you love them before they pass. Don't save it for your eulogy. Tell them now. If you're lucky, both my parents have passed away in the last few years. Don't wait and say something nice about them in a church when they're in a box. Say it to them now. So anyone watching who thinks, oh gosh, I've fallen out with my mum, or when was the last time I told my dad I loved him? Do it now, because Nigel tells you. Right. And a favourite guest, check out the one that's out now, and then check out the one that Rob Carson did. Or just scroll down and see the people that you like and listen to theirs, because it's a sideways in way of discovering a person that you may like. So if you like Albanese, I'm not talking about his politics, I'm talking about him, the man. Jane, yes, all-time favourite book. I think I've answered that. Jel, did Penguin approach you to write the book at 50, or had you written it and then submitted it to you? No, actually, I mean, sorry if this is getting too technical, but I wrote the first one and Random House, that now been bought by Penguin, that they published it, which was lovely. And then my publisher, as in the lady who, my editor, went to Allen and Unwin. So my second and third books were published by then. But I thought that's a 2-book deal. And then I was going to write, my other one. And Penguin very nicely said, can we publish it? Kane, good day. Just finished 17 Last Man Standing by John Brownlow, whoever that is. Fairly entertaining. Is it damning? Is that, my son would call that a complacult. Damning with faint praise. Julietta, loved the Dice Man approach. Yeah. Natalie, what book do you wish you could read for the first time again? What a great question. Book for the first time again. Do you know Train Spotting? That was, wow. The film about all the heroin addicts, whatever, is that was quite a. If you haven't read it, and the Scottish lingo, and that was wonderful. Books for the first time, and a Kind of Loving by Stan Barstow, brilliant. A kitchen sink drama. I've got a bit of a penchant for 1950s grim working class. The L-shaped room, those ones. Virginia, hi, absolutely loving One Must Tell the Bees. Gel. Yes, A Fine Balance is fantastic. Well, Gel, mate, we love you because it is fantastic. So everyone, don't read A Fine Balance because I say so. Read it because Gel says so. Sandy, great suggestions. Thanks. No, thank you for being nice, Sandy. Cindy, I've just finished a couple of books by Someone Else's Child by Kylie Orr and Betray Her by Caroline England. And now just started book 1 of Zodiac Academy by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. Also read The Island by Adrian McKinty. Blimey, Cindy, you read more books than me. Good on you. Julie, good advice, read Parents. I'm 60 and blessed to both. Yeah, Julie, get on the blower. Tell them you love them. God, love them. Gel, better reading. Can you please put up the podcast? Oh, yes. Well, hey, do it. Can you please put up the podcast name on your page? It's called The 5 of My Life. And there's somebody very clever and technical in this room listening to me boff on, and they might be able to do that. But if not, it's up. There you go. Better reading. Yeah. Jasmine, I enjoyed the Train Spotting film. I'll have to read the book. Yeah, the book's sensational. Better reading. Nigel. Oh, there you go. That's them. So listen, guys, it's been lovely to be here, and what a gorgeous thing better reading is. How lovely is it to have a community of people that like books and enjoy books and share that love with other people. I think I'm probably going to wrap up. Apart from what I'm going, oh no, there's more comments. I'll go through the comments until they dry up. But thank you for listening and letting me into your sitting room or wherever you are. Kate, I'm reading The Dead Romantics, and gosh, it is good! ! Anne, have just finished Cold Enough for Snow, just beautiful. Annette, just finished reading Break In by Dick Francis. Dick Francis, is he still going? God, when I was a young man, I'm old now. When I was young, I used to read, I think he wrote one a year. I used to read lots and lots and lots of Dick Francis as a really young man. So good on him if he's still going. Alona Young has said, thank you. No, thank you. Jasmine, thanks for the great book recommendations, Nigel. That's a pleasure. Gel, thank you for chatting away. Sad, please give us some more. Why are you sad, Gel? Don't be sad. Every day is a new beginning. Listen, my soul, to the glad refrain. And spite of old sorrow and older sinning and puzzles, forecast and possible pain, take heart with the day and begin again. I am a poet and I don't know it. Natalia, thanks, Nigel! ! This is just a love fest. I love you all. And what you must do, else I'll have to get a job, is buy this for Father's Day. Buy that for Father's Day and listen to that. And if you're stuck in a reading rut, here we go. 5 Bush Weddings. The Cutting by my pal. He's brilliant. And Megan, Stay Awake. That's probably it. I'm just going to look at any more comments and then say lots of love, happiness, and success to you. We probably all know someone younger than us that is already dead. And we owe it to ourselves and we owe it to them to drink from the cup of life with both hands. Not whine on about getting old. Getting old is a privilege. So Enjoy life. Gel, I highly recommend the historical fiction of Sharon Kay and Elizabeth Chadwick. So enjoyable. Oh, that's very nice of you. So enjoyable. Thank you, Nigel. Caroline Manners. What good manners you have. I'm sure you've heard that joke before. Christine Dudley. Thank you, Nigel. I will definitely be buying your new book. Well, Christine, I love you and I want to marry you. Absolutely, she says. Good. Well, then I'm betrothed. I am actually already married. So apologies. 30 years last week. Joey, thank you. Christine, absolutely. Mary, hi all. We'll rewatch what I missed. Don't. It was rubbish. I've just been crapping on. Sally, thank you. Christine, and it denied too many. I'm not sure what that means, Christine. I do apologise if I haven't got that right. And it denied too many. So apologies. Anna, thank you. And better reading. Oh, you can buy my book there. Guys, lots of love. Support Better Reading. They're fantastic and brilliant. Have a wonderful afternoon and lots of love, success and happiness in all your third trimesters. Cheerio.